Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today it's a beautiful, beautiful day outside. It's actually one of the first days in a really long time that it's not freezing cold or snowing or raining. Um, and all I have is a turtleneck and a hoodie, and it's perfect. I'm already sweating. Where'd he go? There he is. But anyways, today's video is gonna be on shelters, and I want to go over some, or at least talk about some of the shelters that I've built. When I've gone camping, and the pros and cons of each shelter. And I know this is like a little stream, so I gotta be careful because sometimes there's water underneath here. What if I step here where my dog steps? Then I know it's good to go. All right, so we're on the other side now. So anyways, I got my Cabela's Outback Lodge tent 8x8 on me. I got the poles and the stakes. Got my Pathfinder canteen, which I've loved. I'm in love with this canteen. It's amazing. I like the big mouth opening. I just love it. But anyways, so all this right here, if you guys see, that debris is from the river, which is right over here. It's down there. That river actually got all the way up here, and this is what you see, all the debris. So yeah, one of the things you want to do is you don't want to set up camp, down the riverbank. You want to get somewhere higher. This right there is a high area, and right over here, if I can, right there, it's a nice elevated area. Hey, what are you eating? Heel! Leave it. He's eating something. Anyways, so one of the some of the shelters that I've done is I've done a tarp. It was like a 10x8, or yeah, it was like a 10x8 or 8x8. I no longer have it, but I found a rich, two poles or two trees where to set it up, like this right here, from this tree to that tree, and I pretty much make like a nice E type of shelter. And this was in kind of like the winter time. Like now is actually during the fall time, and it did good for the one night that I stayed. I was able to build the fire next to me, but I was a little bit chilly because I didn't have the backside cover, and I only had this fire here. So what I could have done is like kind of build like a lean-to, but that was like the first shelter I've ever built. After that, I've ended up building an A-type shelter. If you guys know what an A looks like, and then you crawl in the middle, and then the other end is blocked off. It was a big shelter because I had to take my dog with me, and that worked pretty well. The only issue with those type of shelters is that you can only build them during the fall season, and I'll tell you why. If you're doing it in the spring, there's not going to be a lot of dead branches and leaves that you can actually pile up to make your A shelter waterproof enough, unless you cut a lot of green vines and green leaves. But that's just spending a lot of time, cutting plants to cover or make your A-type shelter. And when I did that shelter, it was not comfortable because there was some insects, during the fall. Not a lot, and I can feel them crawling all over me at night, so I didn't sleep that well. That was a big no-no for me. I couldn't do that. And then the next one was the lean-to shelter, which is kind of like that, two poles or two trees, and then you build it back in a kind kind of like a angle, and then you put poles or logs or whatever till you get the backside cover, and then you got your fire in front, and that fire reflects from the backside, and it keeps you nice and warm. And that one did work. Again, that was during the winter time. And then so I don't know, I don't think something like that is good for the summertime or the spring or fall time, when you've got a lot of insects, because they're going to be eating you alive. And depending, if you don't know how to start a fire, depending on the type of wood that you use, you can actually smoke yourself out, because of that smoke. If the wind is hitting you, it's gonna the smoke is gonna get inside your lean-to, and you're not gonna be able to sleep at night. But again, in the summertime, you don't want to do that, because again, the mosquitoes and the insects, they're just gonna be crawling all over you. I'm looking for a good spot to set up my tent. What else? And then I did the lean-to shelter again, but this time I did long fire style, and I found debris like that, and I just picked it up and moved it. Where's a good place to set up the tent? Let's go around. So the lean-to with long fire actually worked pretty well, but again, that's only in the winter time. Not so good in the summertime, because again, the mosquitoes and all the insects, and then all these shelters, except for the A-type style shelter, the A-frame shelter, they're not gonna give you enough water protection. And I like to watch Dave Canterbury, YouTube channel, and his shelters and whatnot. But if it's gonna rain, and these lean-to shelters don't do a good job. Like, for example, if it rained tonight, that lean-to shelter with long fire is not gonna do anything, because that rain's gonna put out that fire. So then you're gonna be left with pretty much having a pretty cold night. That's why I prefer to carry a tent rather than make a shelter. The 8x8 Cabela's Outback Lodge tent. This is actually a great spot right here. Awesome, I found a good spot. Let me put my backpack down. But anyways, the 8x8 weighs around 13 pounds. But with the modifications I've done to it, I was able to bring it down, less, mainly by replacing the stakes, and then getting rid of the. I still have the duffel bag it came with, and it has the instructions and everything. And you're able to compact it. If you look at my camping video from earlier this year or last year, you're gonna see that it compact a lot smaller than the military style sleeping bag. Try to find a stick so I can throw it and he'll leave me alone. But yeah, there it is. That thing sticking out, this is the pole. I don't know what the heck that was. But anyways, if you want to cut down on the weight, what you can do is get rid of the center pole, and the tent has a thing on the top where you can actually get a tree, such as actually this branch right here will be okay. You want a little bit something much bigger, like for example that thing right there, the big one, that will be perfect, and you can set it down here. And that's one thing you can get rid of, the center pole, and just get some 550 and then hanging from the top, which I haven't done because, I mean, the center pole is compactable. It'll break down. And it doesn't weigh that much. It's aluminum. Um, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to touch on this, was because of the um, what are you doing? I wanted to talk about the shelters, because some of these shelters that you see, people are either doing it in the kind of winter time, um, and if you're gonna do it in the winter time, it's different than in the summertime. Um, which, if you guys ever go hiking or camping in the summertime, you will notice that there's a bunch of mosquitoes, a bunch of gnats, and a bunch of these little creepy crawlies all over the place. If you stop and stare and look down, you're gonna see spiders and some other things that you've never seen before. And that's where the A-type shelter and the really that's where the A-type shelter and the lean-to shelter have a huge downfall, because insects. And I cannot stress that enough. I've camped, in the A-type shelter, and you will feel them crawl in every cranny of your body that you can imagine. There's no way you can get rid of them. And you don't want to smoke them, because then you got a chance of setting your shelter on fire. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna set up my tent, and also, to let you guys know, I do have it for sale. There's a weapon, or a rifle, that I'm wanting to purchase at the next gun show, and I'm hoping that somebody watching this video would be interested in purchasing the tent. I've spent some money on the tent. I got rid of the stakes, and the ones that I purchased, I do not know what they're called, but they are very durable. And I will post a link to the stakes to show you how durable they are, because I did not buy them because they were cheap. I bought them because I was impressed by them. So I'll post a link to the stakes, where you can watch the YouTube channel on that. But I am selling the tent. I am selling other stuff as well. So let me pause this, set up the tent, and I'll show you guys what I have for sale.